Hello, you two. Now, do you know the story of Moses? Oh, you do? Here's an adaptation of it, made by DreamWorks. It's animated and musical. How does this work again? Really, how does this movie actually become good? Because it's an animated musical of this. How did this become a good movie? I don't know, but somehow DreamWorks did. Okay, so it's the story of Moses and how he was dead, drifted in a basket as a child, and then found so then he could be saved from the Pharaoh. Then ironically ends up at the Pharaoh's house. Coincidence, I guess? And then is accepted as the new Prince of Egypt. Pretty dang easily too. I mean, the only time Ramesses seems to look like he's actually a little bit upset about this is at the beginning. We never really see how they grow up, which I guess is kind of interesting, but really, did he ever get angry at him? I don't know, but maybe he did. And then, after finding out that he was originally a Jewish slave, and also having killed a man, he decides that he can't stay in Egypt anymore. So where does he go? To a more desolate part of Egypt. Okay. And after going there, then he decides to try and get a new life and then he actually gets a new wife named Zipporah, a new father-in-law, and multiple other new family members who take him in. Pretty surprisingly well, too. I dare say it's even a little bit too fast. But I guess it kind of makes sense. Because they have a montage song. And in movies, that fixes everything. And then, after getting a message from God, he then realizes that he should go over to Egypt and then demand that his brother sets his people free. His brother, of course, refuses, not wanting to give up his contempt for life, and then with the help of God, Moses causes the 10 plagues, and which results in his people being freed. Oh yeah, spoiler. His people get freed. But what really makes the story work, and I mean like what really makes it work, is the fact that they focus more on them being brothers. In this movie, Ramesses and Moses are brothers first, enemies second. And that is really interesting to watch. I mean, when Moses first comes back, Ramesses actually thinks that he came back for them to be brothers again. But then when he finds out that he came back just to set his people free, he's heartbroken about it. But just because of one little thing that his father said, that automatically makes him say, nope, I'm not gonna be the weakling, so I'm gonna have to make sure their workload is doubled. Our father will be okay with that. And it is very interesting to watch. Especially in the plague scene, which I'll talk about later. But the brother and brother relationship is what makes it so good. I mean, it is just a great relationship to watch. And it's really nice to see it be brought up. How in the Ten Commandments it's kind of touched upon. This movie, it's the main focus, which really makes it extremely interesting and keeps you very concerned for the characters, because you do feel for them. They have a lot of screen time, and you want them to end up alright. Of course, for Ramesses, he ends up all alone, in which I generally feel bad for Ramesses. I mean, you see him on a rock in the end, screaming out to his brother Moses. That made me really sad. I feel bad for his brother. And, you know what? The movie gave me all reason to. And Moses got a happy life. No, I really feel bad for Ramesses. But I'll talk about him later. But there are other characters that do make this good. Which, again, I will talk about later because I'm in the story part. And I keep on forgetting that. But, so the story is very interesting, mainly because of the sibling relationship. In which you might know sibling relationships in anime films from Frozen or something. But for me, I know from this movie. So, for this great sibling relationship and the well-executed story, I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. Oh, and also, there are a lot of silent moments in this movie. Yeah, DreamWorks can do silent moments. Like, after Moses meets God at the burning bush, that whole entire explanation to him and his wife is completely silent. And we had to guess what they're saying, which is just really cool. Because you had to take into account what just happened and what he's telling her and how he would explain it. So it's extremely interesting to see what you can actually put in there. And also, I will be putting a link to this movie down in the description so then you guys can check it out because it's a great movie. Okay, so the characters in this, to me, are what makes the movie work. For one, there's Moses, who I liked a whole lot more in the first half. Yeah, he's so much more interesting there. I don't know why. He has more personality to him, I guess, but in the second half, he sort of just feels like a plot device, and less of a character. It really just seems like he just went awry. Like, he was interesting for a little bit, and then lost all his interesting qualities, and just sort of, with the help of God, helped make the template. So, yeah, at first, he's really interesting. He's kind of a guy who would get in trouble, but would always find a way to fix it. And also, when he figures out that he was born a Jewish slave, then of course he's torn up about it, and it's extremely interesting. But after that, he just sort of goes around in the desert, and I guess his character got lost there. Because after that, he didn't really have much of a character. And if he does, then it's a completely new character. Not the one that we were at all acquainted with. So, to me, he sort of lost his personality. But one of the characters that did keep their personality and actually got a little bit more interesting in the second half was Ramesses. Who, oh my god, I love this guy. Ramesses is a great character. His character is really sad because he still wants to be brothers with Moses. I mean, they're brothers first and enemies second. But he still wants to follow in his father's footsteps, and which makes it extremely difficult for him and Moses to be brothers again. And oh my god, this guy is just great. Whoever played him, I think it was someone named Ralph Fiennes, or Billy Fiennes, or someone with the last name Fiennes. He does a chilling performance as this guy. I mean, oh my god, this guy is great. This guy was the perfect pick. DreamWorks, you did wonderful with Ramesses. But one character but of course he had to follow someone, which is his father. And God, this guy, I just want to deck him. I really do. I want to punch him in the face or something. I want to hurt this guy. I mean, he's allowed children. Somebody get me up to that palace and punch him in the face, because, God, the most annoying thing is that he said that he was doing it for the goodness of his people. Well, if that's true, then most of your population is your Jewish slaves, so frankly, you're hurting your people. So, of course, I don't like him. But he does have an interesting wife. Yes, I don't really know her real name, and if I did, I could pronounce it. But she's extremely interesting. Or at least motherly. She's definitely motherly. That's the best word to describe her. She is warm, she is caring, yet she's also tough and well-rounded. So, yeah, she's extremely interesting, and I wish that she was in this movie more. I mean, she's only in, like, the first half, or at least 1/3 of it, but, oh my god, I wish that she was in the full movie. Because she is just really, really interesting. And then we have Moses' mother, who is basically the exact opposite. I mean, god, for the good mother they have in this, they have a really bad one. And which is Moses' mother. I mean, I guess she's doing the right thing, but God, she has no character. What was her character? Nothing, because she doesn't have one. All her character is being a mother, I guess. I don't know, she's really uninteresting. And then there's Zipporah, who's Moses' wife. And really, I found her interesting in the first half, just like Moses. In the first half, she's tough and doesn't want to put up with any of this crap of being a slave, so she escapes. And that's really interesting. I mean, she didn't want to go through any of this, and that makes sense. But after that, then, of course, she's a little bit mad at Moses. But aside from that, her character that was seen in the first half is gone. And she's just sort of his wife now. But I guess it makes sense. I mean, you have a few years to decide to become acquainted with one another and actually get married. So yeah, I guess that they could have had a lot of time, but in the second half, she's practically gone. I mean, really, when they get to Egypt, she only shows up for like one song and coming there with Moses, and that's it. And try and comfort him when he was struck to the mud. Ooh, yeah, you're real interesting. But yeah, aside from that, she lost all character. And then there's Moses' sister, who, I don't know, why was she so boring? She felt like a clone of Moses' mother. Like, oh yeah, we don't want to reshoot any scenes with Moses' mother, so let's just get her in. I think her name was Marion, but yeah, I don't know, Marion, you were boring. But then her brother sort of makes up for that, who was named Aaron, played by stuttering Jeff Goldblum. And he does have his typical Jeff Goldblum-ness, I guess, in this role, but he does say the word a lot. Like, he does say the word a whole lot. Like, there's one scene where he just says it so many times. I'm just like, do I have to give a counter for this? But yeah, he is still very interesting, and he's kind of a doesn't want to take chances type, which of course is extremely out of character when he's actually the very first one to go into the parted Red Sea. So character development, and then end of story arc. And then there's Hodep and Hoy. I think I pronounced their name right. But God, these guys are fun. One of them was played by Steve Martin, the same guy who played the dentist in The Little Shop of Horrors, who was my favorite character in that movie. So of course I expected a lot from this performance, and that's exactly what I got. But at one point, they make one of the strangest faces I have ever seen in a song. I'm sorry, this face needs to be addressed. Okay, here it is. So yeah, that was that phase. Okay, but anyway, these are still very fun characters, but they seem to disappear halfway through the ending. Yeah, Ramesses flips the table, and they're never seen or from again. Guess they could have gone out worse ways. But then there's also Ramesses' son, who, oh my god, this kid has no character. I mean it. This kid is just a plot device. Just to be used later. That's really all that he's there for. We don't even see Ramesses' wife, so I have no idea how he came into the world. But he's there and then he dies. That's really it. He's just there and dies. And frankly, I'm okay with that because he had no character at all. So I didn't feel bad for him dying. Okay, so for the characters, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Sure, there are some of them that have character changes, and sure, there are some that go nowhere, but they're still pretty likable and still fun to watch, and like I said before, they make this movie. The story centers around them, so they're extremely interesting. Now on to the animation. Okay, so the animation style for this is classical hand-drawn animation. Like the ones that were used for Snow White and stuff. Like basically all the old classic Disney movies, that's their animation. But that wasn't just it. They also had to develop a whole entire new technique that I think was called retroscoping, where they would basically look around the whole entire thing but still use the exact same frame of animation. Yeah, that actually helped them make more of a Steven Spielberg-like movie. Or at least they tried to do it the way that he would do it. So yeah, the animation behind this is pretty cool and was pretty complicated. I mean, they had to make an animation software. A brand new one, for God's sake. They had to do that. I mean, come on, that had to be hard to do. Especially the way they did it. Oh my god. And also, this movie was mixed with hand-drawn and computer. So, in the crowd of big people at the end of the movie, oh my god, half of them would be, actually like a quarter of them would be hand-drawn. And the rest of them would all be computer. Moses might need to take the red pill, but still. Most of it was computer. Like, most of those characters were computer, and during some of the slaves walking past, you had to tell which one's computer and which one of them's hand. Because, oh my god, that is really cool. I just thought that was a great little tidbit, because that is awesome. That they mix those styles. Also, the Angel of Death is also computer animated. And yet, they did the animation style to make it blend in with the hand-drawn. Yet still look really elegant and horrifying. So, yeah. Great job, DreamWorks. So for the animation, I give it a 10 out of 10 because the animation in this is great. It's well done, and it just looks beautiful to watch. And now on to the song. Because this was a musical. Why? I don't know. Now, I love these songs. All of them hit right out of the park. Now, I don't know that much about songs, but I've reviewed enough songs by now. So, first there is Deliver Us, which is a great opener to this movie. It shows how these slaves are being treated and also how much it hurts this mother to actually send her baby down the river. And it shows that wonderfully. They really do take like 7 minutes to show the song. You know what? All of it's well done. Heck, some of it's even in a different language, which is pretty cool. I mean, one of these actresses might not have even known this language. And yet, they just had to learn the language maybe to just do that one song. That's pretty cool. That might happen. if they did that, then congrats, singer, because that's pretty cool. So that's the only scene of Moses' mother, but it does kind of play in later, which also makes it sort of a little bit of a plot device, but it's still a good song. Then after that is All I Ever Wanted, which, again, is a pretty good song, but if there's a limitation to it, it's very short. Really, the song just goes and is just there, and that's it, and that's gone. But then leads up to Moses' Nightmare, which is a great segment. So yeah, it's definitely welcome, and it does show how Moses feels about actually being a slave, instead of being the Prince of Egypt. And then after that, there's the Queen's Reprise of that song, which is okay. And then there's... God, what was the next song? Oh yeah, Through Heaven's Eyes, which actually the reason why they made this song is because they wanted to tell what's the measure of a man. And this song does explain that. It's a very great song with great lyrics. Just listen to the lyrics of that song, and man, it's a great song. It's really fun, and it also shows a montage of what's been going on with Moses' life, so it's very interesting. And then my second favorite song in it is Playing with the Big Boys. Oh my god, this song is great. It's the only song sung by Head Up and Hoy. I think I said their names right. And oh my god, they do a great job. It's not the dentist song that Steve Martin sang before, but Steve Martin does do it great. And oh my god, this song is so much fun. Everything's done in the dark. Everything's done with smoke and mirrors. And it is just wonderful. And it does really show how they use smoke and mirrors a lot. And oh my god, it just works so great in the illusion. The audience in that song was clapping, and so was I. And then after that one is my favorite song out of the whole movie, the Plague Song. Oh my god, this song should have been the sum up of this movie. Not the song that came after this one, this one. Because this shows what's going on with the plagues. It's the biggest point in the whole movie. All the plagues are going on. The brothers are singing about how they wish things could go back to the way it was, with them being good brothers, and god, it's so climactic. Everything is great. This song was just great. It was all done wonderfully. And DreamWorks, you guys did this song great. And then, after that one, the song at the end, which I don't even care to know the name of, it is so boring, and it's so paced at and it's just put at the wrong moment. And really, all the firstborns have just died, except for Ramesses for some reason, even though, yes, since Moses wasn't his real brother, then he wasn't a firstborn, he was just the only born. But still, he died. His son died. All the firstborns are now dead. And yet, what do? They start singing. Oh my god, this is the worst time song ever. There's like, oh, well, all the firstborns just died. You just went to a corner and started crying about that. Even you're the one who sort of caused it, but even you were upset about it, and... Well, I'm just gonna sing about how we're free now. I'm like, what? What caused that? What made her want to sing? I don't know, and I will never know, but still, the songs in this movie are a lot of fun. And although, to my mom, it really did annoy her because it's a Bible story and there are songs. Yeah, those two don't really work. But here they really do feel like they're most welcome. And they do fit the tone of the story and actually do help progress time. And save a little bit of time. So for the songs, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10 because, you know what, these songs are just fun. Sure, some of them are put at the wrong time. God, that one song at the end. God, I hate that song at the end. It was so poorly timed. Like, maybe at the end of the movie they could have sang that, but not when they did. So, for this movie, I really do enjoy it. I love how it focuses more on the brother and brother relationship. That is something that really needs to be focused on. And the characters are great. There aren't that many, but they're really well done. And they do have a lot of time given to them to give them some character. Oh yeah, and also, interesting fact, the person who voiced God was actually Moses. Do with that what you will. So, for this movie, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. It's a lot of fun and definitely worth checking out. And next week, I'm going to be reviewing a movie from one of my favorite actors, Bicentennial Man.